Hello, women of the Channel Leadership Network. I'm Jackie Rives, your community leader, and welcome to another Woman of the Week. This week, I'm very excited to introduce you to Julia Deien, partner and technology practice leader for Anders CPAs and advisors, and she serves on our Exchange Advisory Board. Hi, Julia. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Hi, Jackie. Thank you so much. I'm really excited about being here today.
Well, I'm super excited to get to know you better. So let's start off with those icebreaker questions. Where do you live and where did you grow up, if that's different?
I grew up and I live in Evanston, Illinois. It is a small town outside of St. Louis in Southern Illinois.
Very cool. What is a little known fact about you that you don't mind sharing with, a few thousand people?
So a little known fact about me was I was an athlete in college. I actually played college volleyball at Southern Illinois University.
Oh, that is really cool. That's a tough sport.
It is something I still love. I wish I could play it more, but my body won't let me.
Oh, all right. Well, let's switch gears and have you, if you don't mind, tell us about your career path and how you reached the position you're in today.
Sure. So I actually am one of the few people who started at the same company in 2006 and progressed my entire career with Anders. When I started, I actually started on a mostly female IT team, which is totally rare. There was a female
Yeah.
IT director and a female senior engineer, and it was a small team. There's only three of them, but they were getting ready to let go one of the service desk guys. And the weird thing is, they couldn't decide between me and Jason, who is my current co partner of our technology practice. They couldn't decide between us. So they ended up hiring us both. And I was so blessed to be able to have two strong females to look up to as I was growing my career. Teresa, who was our IT director at the time, she's now since has retired, but she had such a good outlook on life. She put faith, family, and then her career, and she made it work. I watched her fight so many battles for herself that really opened the doors. And I feel like at times I need to tell her thank you so many times because I reaped the benefits that she never got because of the fights that she had to fight. And you look at some of the leaders of our firm now, and they don't even believe the females back then had to have those fights because they're like, oh, it's not a problem. We got female partners now. It's not a problem. And you look, and there's still only 25% or less female partners when our company is over 50% female. That you look and you're like, okay, there's still something wrong. But I still look back at the females who did it before me, and I'm so grateful because I wouldn't be here. I do not think I would be here as a partner at Anders had I not had those two females guiding me so early on my career.
You're right. That is super unique. And what an experience and impact that it's clearly made on you. I love that. So tell me, have you ever questioned your abilities and qualifications? And if so, how did you overcome that challenge?
I did. And I think most people do because you go through your career and at some point you feel like you're either a fraud or don't know what you're doing. Um, when I got my promotion in 2020 to lead our technology practice, it was January 2020. And of course, COVID hit soon after. So it really had me changing my focus because our firm is in a really big growth mode. And they sat us down in December and January before I took over and said, okay, this is your growth. This is what we expect you to hit. And when COVID hit, it was like changing our entire thought process from clients and growth to focusing on our employees, focusing on my team, focusing on the clients that we had, and not adding new clients just because people weren't changing IT providers as much in 2020. And as I grew through the different years of our practice, there's always bumps and valleys of, am I on the right track? Am I doing the right thing? Am I putting my employees first? And one of the things that I always go back to is looking for my mentors or coaches. I had read something in a book a few years ago, and it really hit me that a mentor is not one person who guides you through your entire career and gives you the playbook. That's not a mentor. That's what people think a mentor is. But really, a mentor or a coach is people who are helping you throughout your career. And it might just be one time that you go out there and reach out to them and ask them a question. So when I was thinking about this question, I was thinking about all of the people who have helped me throughout my career. It's a lot of people at Anders. During the last 4 years, I would go sit down and I would always put my thoughts down before I would reach out to them and think, okay, what is the issue that I'm trying to face? And who should I go ask? And it was always somebody different. It wasn't the same person every time. But it was sometimes somebody at Anders. We had a great CFO at Anders who really taught me how to dig into our books and understand all of our costs. When it comes to sales or questions around in the market, I use a lot of the people on the board at the channel company or other partners that I met through our Microsoft partnership of what have you done in this situation? And so many people are willing to help and answer questions. It's actually really neat once you start to think about how did you get there? You see all of the different people who have helped you that you're like, okay, I would have never thought at the time that they were a mentor to me. But now I look, I'm like, you really were somebody who impacted my future by answering and guiding me through just that little piece of time that I needed somebody.
Oh, I love that. And I love that you pointed out that a mentorship it's not as always as formal as we think it is, like that one person. And you've clearly shown that leveraging your resources for their strengths can really make an impact on, your career and how you understand and take those next steps and make decisions. Great points. What are some patterns that you've noticed over the years about women at work and things that maybe we could be doing better to advance our careers?
The one thing I notice leading a team of, we don't have as many females as I like to have on our team, but I always try to find new college grads that are females and bring them onto my team because I feel like I have a lot to offer. And I feel like a lot of women are so timid to ask for anything. I was never timid. I played sports, so I was always a bulldozer. I always went after it and I found somebody to answer questions. But not all females are like that. And that's my one thought when I look at other female is don't be timid. Women are better at their jobs. They're more engaged. They're more detailed compared to men. And they're so less confident in their skills. And my advice that I want to give to other females is don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to find that one person to help you. Don't be afraid to ask somebody to lunch and say, hey, I just want to pick your brain and see what you can do to help guide me. Or don't be afraid to ask for that promotion or that raise because you know your counterpart is. And if you have a good boss, which I think there's a lot more good bosses out there who are wanting to invest in people, they'll be willing to invest back in you when they see you step up and speak up that they know, hey, this person's really interested in growing their career. I want to help them. So don't be afraid, like trust the process.
That's excellent advice. You reminded me of something someone once said to me, and that because I have been very reluctant to ask for things, and they said you get 100% of what you don't ask for, and that kind of just cleared it up. Like, oh, if I don't ask, then I'm never going to find out. Like, I
Don't
can't
be
expect people to read my mind.
don't be afraid to fail. Like that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to get a no or don't be afraid to fail because that's just one more thing that you tried that made you stronger.
Great. Oh, I love that. Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, let's pivot to one of my favorite questions. What do you do to protect that work-life balance?
Oh my God. This is a hard one. And here's another area I feel like I got lucky because my co-partner in charge of a technology practice also has young kids. So I have two 12-year-old twin boys who are so busy in different sports and activities. And my husband also has a demanding job. So it's difficult at times to manage that work-life balance because our technology practice is in growth mode. Our partners of our CPA firm expect us to hit some large growth numbers over the next couple of years, and that takes a lot of focus. But my partner, who I can vent to at times about, oh my God, I need to leave at 4 o'clock. I need to leave at 3 o'clock. I need to leave at 2 o'clock. And it's always for, I got to get one kid to track, or I have to get one kid to soccer. And it's nice because he also is doing the exact same thing. We just kind of joke with like, see you online at 8 o'clock tonight, or I'll be finishing this up later and I'll let you know if I have any questions. I do think COVID changed the world where people don't expect you to be in the office from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. anymore. I think that even working for a CPA firm where we have a lot of tax professionals that realize, hey, there is a balance. You can go home, see your family, and you can work from home and you can successfully work from home. That you can leave the office at 3 o'clock, go to your kid's event, and then get back online after your kids go to bed and finish what you need to stay on top of it. I also think people have learned they can say no. I think I have learned I can say no. I can say no to some of the partners that ask me to do a certain event if it conflicts with the kids' activity. And they don't judge or look down on you like they used to after COVID. Or maybe it's just because I finally learned that I can say no and people are still going to respect me when they know I have a family and I'm trying to do both. I think the work-life balance is getting easier than it did when I first started out at Anders. That is one thing that I think the next generation has going for them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more on that. Even seeing like, my girls and how effectively they put boundaries in place on what they're willing to sacrifice and not. And I mean, I respect it. In the beginning, I would question and be like, well, if you do that, then XYZ. And they're like, well, then I don't want to be at that organization because it doesn't align with my values. And I just find that super inspiring. So,
That's a great word. And I was trying to think of it when I was talking boundaries. I don't feel like people had the ability to put boundaries like that in place in the past because the employers, the
mhm.
companies really drove the decisions and what you decided to do. Where now
Yeah.
I do feel like you can actually put boundaries in place and people respect the boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely. Julia, thank you so much for being here with me today and sharing some of your journey with our community here at Women of the Channel. We are thrilled to be able to celebrate you as our Woman of the Week.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it.
Me too. All right, community members, please give Julia a shout out, share your insights with her. This is meant to uh, continue the conversation. It's never meant to end here. So until next time, happy Wednesday.